Same distance, different track, different race. The 151st Preakness isn't at Pimlico, it's at Laurel. And that changes everything about how the race is going to unfold. Shorter stretch, quick run into that first turn, 14 horses scrambling for position right out of the gate. How will you find your winner? Facts and figures are going to give you that winning edge. I give you the stats, you make the picks. I'm Maura from Trifecta and a little bit extra, and it is time to analyze the field for the 2026 Preakness. I'm going to map out this race gate to wire and identify those running styles that can actually win this setup. But before I get started, I have to remind you this. Horse betting is not legal in every state, so if you're betting, make sure it's legal. Let's begin with race architecture because this year, it is everything. Laurel is a 1 1/8 mile, 95-foot wide oval. We typically don't see races run here at a mile and 3/16. So the Preakness is going to keep its classic distance by finishing at the first wire. See, Laurel uses a 2-wire system. By ending the race at that first finish line, what does this do? It shrinks the stretch to 1,089 feet. For context, Churchill Downs stretch, 1,234 feet long, nearly 3 football fields long. And that always gives deep closers that long runway to build momentum. Even Pimlico's stretch longer, 1,152 feet. So this configuration, even tighter. And that means that horses have to be within that striking distance at the top of the stretch to win. There simply isn't enough real estate to come from the clouds. Now consider the start. Short run into that first turn. Outside horses that can't clear, they are at risk of being hung wide. They're almost forced to gun early. And here's where it's going to get interesting. 4 of the 5 outside runners, they want the lead or they want to be right near it. They all can't get comfortable before that turn, so they're going to have to make aggressive decisions immediately. They're all going to angle inward at the same time. Not enough space for that many forward types. So the field is going to compress like 5 lanes of traffic merging into 2 right before a tunnel. That compression is going to force fast early fractions, even faster than some would like to prefer. On paper, looks like it's going to be a fast-paced race, so what do? We upgrade closers. But then remember, we've got this short stretch. So that means timing is going to be everything. It's not going to be about who can close. It's going to be about who can make their move at the right time. So what horses are we going to upgrade? Closers that have that right timing, and those that have a tactical running style, especially coming from post positions 5 through 8. Now, let's look at our field. You want proof of local form? Taj Mahal coming out of post position 1, he's built it right here. 3 starts here at Laurel, undefeated. After winning by 4 lengths in his maiden, he enters a stakes race, going a mile on a muddy track, wins by a neck. Then he enters the Federico Tezio Stakes. He's in that outermost post position 10. He's got to gun it to get around a wall of horses, not get hung wide in that first turn. He not only clears the field, but then he opens up by 10 lengths. Then the pace goes from moderate to slow. In the field, they catch up to him. But what does he do? He finds another gear. He opens up again and wins by 8 1/4 lengths. Pretty incredible. His buyer speed rating that day was a 92, which is one of the top in the field. I get he is up against a different class here, but he has the advantage of having significant early pace. His trainer, Brittany Russell, says she expects him to be near the front, just like he did in his last 2 races. Also, he's on the inside. And as his trainer notes, he is a very good gate horse. Now, he's getting his regular rider, Sheldon Russell, and posted 4 straight bullet workouts right here at Laurel, which means he was the fastest that day. Clearly, this horse loves this track and has shown some speed here. Can he get the extra distance? Because the furthest he has gone is 1.125 miles. Well, his sire is Nyquist, and he's out of a quality road mare, so distance should not be a problem. And also, how great would it be if Brittany Russell won after Cherie DeVoe took the Derby? To me, Taj Mahal, elite win contender. Next horse, Ocelli, he stunned us all at the Kentucky Derby. He almost made the Kentucky Derby the very first race he's ever won. Now, after 7 tries, he's looking to make the Preakness the very first race he's ever won. A maiden has not won this race in 138 years. Let's look at what he did during the Derby. At the half pole, he is 16th in a field of 18. It is such a hot pace race, sets up very nicely for him and the other deep closers. Now, he had to go wide. He was 5 wide around the turn. He was 7 wide entering the lane, but he just kept building momentum. He even led at one point, but he got bested by 2 other closers, Renegade and Golden Tempo. He comes in third, which was a shock to all of us, and earns a 94 buyer, which is one of the top in this field. Now, as I noted, this horse is a closer, so he is very much pace dependent, but it looks like this is going to be a hot pace race. The pace is going to be his friend, but that short stretch and even shorter distance, because remember, the Kentucky Derby is a longer distance race, that may not be his friend at all. But I want to point this out. When he begins to make his move, it is at the 3/4 mile. He is not waiting for the top of the stretch. Now that can make things interesting because remember the stretch is short. So closers that wait until the top of the stretch, they're going to get compromised. But he begins that momentum build early around the turn. And when he gets to the top of the stretch, he tends to be within striking distance, 1 to 2 lengths off the leader. If the pace is as projected, when the leaders start losing that momentum, he's going to be gaining. In my opinion, dangerous threat. His jockey, Tyler Gaffalione, he says he's ready. His energy is up. His horse has a big chance. Will Saturday be Ocelli's winning day? Now, before we move on to that next contender, if you're getting value out of this video, please go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe. It tells YouTube to keep showing this video to more people like yourself. And remember, horse racing doesn't end with the Preakness and the Belmont. Oh no, I have many more race insights and horse racing education to come. Coming from post position 3 is our invader from Oaklawn Park, Crupper. 6 starts, 2 wins, and 3 shows. Now, he was a maiden up until February when he won a $110,000 maiden special weight going 1.16 miles. In that race, he stalked the leader. He took over at the top of the stretch. Next win came in April, going 1.125 miles, the Bathhouse Rose Stakes at Oaklawn, where he got to the lead at the half pole. Now, he was bumped, but he dug in, and he won by a half a length. In that race, we saw a big improvement in speed up to an 80 buyer. Before that, he was in the 60s. But an 80 buyer, that's going to be tough here. We're going to need to see a lot more improvement to win the race. He's also in a more competitive field. The other thing I want you to note is this. He likes to stalk 1 to 2 lengths from the leader, but given his early pace, he may not be able to get into that position. Now, I don't want you to completely rule him out. He's sitting on a huge workout, 59 and change for 5 furlongs. Is he ready to make another big step up? Maybe, just maybe, keep him on your radar for underneath. Post position 4, Robusta, the last horse to draw into the Kentucky Derby. 6 starts, 1 win, and 1 place. Now, in the Derby, he had to start in the outermost post. He was bumped. He faded. He finished 14th with a 72 buyer. Not really his day. Prior to the Derby, he was in the G2 San Felipe. Now, he did get to the lead, but he was bested by Potente, and he came in second with his best buyer yet, an 89. Then he went into the Santa Anita Derby, another day that just wasn't his day. He dueled, but he gave up, and he finished last. 18 lengths behind the winner with a 76 buyer. Now, given the need for speed improvement here and the recent inconsistent performances, for me, I'm not really seeing a win contender, and he will just need to be a pal. I've been talking and talking and talking about the next horse for some time now, but I gotta say this, I've been really disappointed with his last efforts. Post position 5 is Talkin. Now, on a positive note, he does have some good things going for him. He's got that great post position. He's got that tactical running style I really like. He's a stalking talking. And he's got Rat Ortiz Jr. as his jockey. But it's hard to back him when you look at the notes and you see words like outkicked and tired. Now, Talkin, he has not won a race since his maiden win in August at Saratoga. Since then, he finished second in the G1 Champagne going a mile at Aqueduct in October, and he finished third in the G1 Bluegrass last time out at Keeneland going a mile and an eighth. This was his best performance yet. He finished third, but he's 12 lengths behind with an 87 buyer. And his notes say outkicked. That does not inspire confidence. I'm going to note, however, there is a bullet workout at Keeneland last time out. 4 furlongs, 47. And he's got a pedigree for stamina. He's by Good Magic out of a Tis Now mare. So maybe, just maybe, a board hitter for me. Our next horse is tactical, comes from an advantageous post position 6. So that should automatically get your attention. Oh, and should I mention this? He gets winning Kentucky Derby jockey Jose Ortiz. It is Chip Honcho, 6 starts with 2 wins and 2 places. Now, his last 4 starts were at the fairgrounds. He won the Gun Runner, going a mile and a 16th. In that race, he sat just off of the leader, a half a length of the half pole. Now, he took over and then won. In the G3 Lecomte, Chip Honcho, he had to start from the outermost post. Now, he broke a step slowly. He may have been too aggressive early on and used up that energy. He ended up being 5 wide on the turn and finished 4th. In the G2 Risen Star going a mile and an eighth, he broke really well from post position 5. He set the pace, he dug in, and he only lost by half a length. But ahead of, get this, Derby winner Golden Tempo. And it was here where he earned his best buyer of a 92, one of the top in this field. Then he went into the G2 Louisiana Derby. This distance, it was a very fast-paced race. He stalked, but he faded in the stretch. But today, he's getting a shorter stretch, and that may favor his running style. He is working lights out at Churchill Downs. He had the opportunity to be in the Kentucky Derby, but he opted for the Preakness instead. Steve Asmussen, his trainer, said, smaller crowd here at the Preakness may benefit him. The larger crowd may have made him more aggressive. If we see patience on his part, he looks, in my opinion, to be an elite win contender. Coming from post position 7 is the Hell We Did, a half-brother to Senior Buscador, winner of the 2024 Saudi Cup. 4 starts, 2 wins, and 2 places, so always on the board. But this is deeper waters for him. He is seeking his first stakes win. Although he doesn't have a stakes win, he did beat older company in an open 6-furlong allowance race in March at Sunland. Not only did he beat them, he dominated by 13 lengths. And that was really a show. The lead horse went out with some blazing hot fractions. The Hell We Did had to make up by 10 lengths. And then he just kept on going. And he won by 13. And he earned his best buyer yet of a 92, which is top in the field. In the G3 Lexington Stakes, first time going around 2 turns, a mile and a 16th. He comes out of the gate, he goes right to the lead. But then Corona de Oro sneaks up on the rail. Now he's stalking on the outside. He battles Corona de Oro all around the turn and then down the stretch. But then they both lost to Trendsetter. He finished his second with an 81 buyer. Couple things really worry me. First, I'm not really sure he could get the extra distance. Yes, he is by Authentic, and Authentic won the Kentucky Derby and the Breeders' Cup Classic at the longer distance, but the progeny is not winning beyond a mile and an eighth. Now, yes, he is half brother to Senior Buscador, like I mentioned, won the 2024 Saudi Cup, but that was a mile and an eighth. And also, he wants to be right off the leader. I'm not sure he's got enough early speed to get there. And finally, his last workout was interrupted twice when another horse was without their rider on the track. For me, he will be a pass. Can the next horse take the bull by the horns and win the Preakness? Post position 8 is occupied by Bull by the Horns. 5 starts, 2 wins, and 2 shows. Now, his last win, very last race, Turfway on the synthetic, going a mile and a 16th, Rushaway Stakes. He closed from last to first. Now, while that was impressive, it only really earned him a 70 buyer. His speed figures for the prior 4 races, not really that high, in the high to mid 60s. So he's not showing that much improvement. From a stamina viewpoint, can he get the extra distance? He does have that Tappet influence. He's by essential quality. So that means the distance is probably in him. Plus, he's out of a Blame mare. Blame won the Breeders' Cup Classic going a mile and a quarter. So he may have the stamina. He may be aided by the pace, but I can't get over the jump up in speed that would be needed. So for me, he's just going to be a pass. Now, before we move on to a horse that's getting a lot of attention in this race, I do want to encourage all of you to sign up for my newsletter. On Kentucky Derby Day, everybody who signed up got my final thoughts for the Derby. And here is what I wrote. If that pace gets as hot as it looks like on paper, it opens the door for some strong closers such as Renegade and Golden Tempo. We now know that both of these horses finished 1 and 2. What are you waiting for? Go to subscribe.trifectaandextra.com or use the QR code right here. Now, when you sign up, I'm immediately going to send you an email. You have to find it, open it up, and hit the button in the middle that says confirm my email. If you don't do that, you are not on the list. Sometimes you cannot find this email. I get it. I am so sorry. Look to where old emails go to die. Look in spam, look in promos, search for my name, Maura. Maura. Now back to these contenders. Chad Brown has started 6 horses in the Preakness, and he's got 2 wins with Cloud Computing in 2017, early voting in 2022, and he is looking for that 3rd win with the horse in post position 9, Iron Honor. 3 starts, 2 wins. Now, he won both of his first races, and they resulted in speed ratings of 90 and 95 first time out. Then he goes to the Wood Memorial. He's trying the mile and an eighth distance. Unfortunately, he gets that outermost post position 13, and he is really compromised by that post. He was trying to clear the field, not to be caught wide, was bumped hard, had to go wide. And on the backstretch, he stalked 3rd. He tried to build momentum around the turn, but he didn't have the energy needed to complete it in the stretch. He finished 7th with a 76 buyer. Now, blinkers, they are coming off. Chad Brown wants him to relax, rate, don't be aggressive so early. Post 9 may be a bit more to the outside than Chad Brown was hoping for. This horse is going to need a clean break and some speed to make it over into that stalking position that Brown wants him to be at. If he can rate, not be so aggressive, he's a big threat here. And based on his pedigree, Nyquist as his sire, Blame as his dam sire, the distance should be in him. Our next horse does his best running in the lead and has the speed to get there. It is Napoleon Solo. Now, last October in the G1 Champagne going a mile and Aqueduct, he shot right to the lead and he wins by 6.5 lengths. He earned a 95 buyer. Then we didn't see him until February. Enters the G2 Fountain of Youth at Gulfstream going a mile and a 16th. Awkward star. Did not get to the lead. Came up empty, finishing 5th. 11 lengths from the leader. In April, he enters the Wood Memorial, a mile and an eighth, back at Aqueduct, where he romped in the Champagne. He gets to the lead again, where he likes to be. He sets some fast fractions, but he weakens, and he finishes 5th with a 78 buyer. Now, that really worries me because we're projected to have a fast-paced race. and a longer distance. If he weakened in a mile and an eighth, can he really get this distance? His sire's Liam's Map, who does have some progeny that did really well beyond a mile and an eighth. I really, though, can't see how the extra distance is going to benefit him. For me, he's just going to need to be a pass. Alice Stewart long shot, always dangerous, and that's exactly what we have in post position 11. Corona d'Oro, 5 starts, 1 win, 1 place, 2 shows. His win came as a 3-year-old going a mile and a 16th at the fairgrounds. $54,000 maiden special weight race. Now he goes right to the lead. He sets some hot fractions. He wins by 4.5 lengths with an 87 buyer. This horse likes to be on the lead. In the G3 Lexington, also a mile and a 16th, but at Keeneland, he goes to the lead, but he can't hold it, even though the fractions were not as fast as the prior race. He yields to Trend Center and the Hell We Did, who's also in this race. So he's bit of an inconsistent horse. Now, while he likes to be on the lead, this outermost post and this pace we're expected to have, that may be a challenge for him to get where he naturally wants to be. Can he stalk? He's shown stalking ability in his first 3 races, but they were at shorter distances, under 7 furlongs. In fact, his best speed rating of a 92 buyer, which is one of the top in the field, came in a 6 furlong race where he was 2 lengths off the leader, and he finished second. Also note this, he's got a really great workout, 59 and change for 5 furlongs. That caught my eye because he doesn't have a workout that fast prior. Dallas Stewart said, man, he is full of life, ready to go. If he rates, given he's on the improve, in my opinion, he may be a threat to hit the board. Post position 12 is the only outermost post with a horse that's not going to try to get on or near the lead. Incredibolt. Now, sometimes he rates 1 to 2 lengths back like we saw in the Virginia Derby. Sometimes it's more like 5 to 7 lengths, like we saw in the Street Sense and the Holy Bull. Now, he's coming out of the Kentucky Derby in really good form. In the Kentucky Derby, he tucked in. He settled off the inside. Then he alters out sharply in the stretch. He bumped Renegade, but he finished 6th and gets his best buyer yet of an 89. That performance is coming off of a very long layoff in the Virginia Derby. So second off the layoff can improve. The Virginia Derby, he won by 4 lengths with an 88 buyer. If he could tuck in, stay out of trouble, make a move early so he's within that striking distance at the top of the stretch, because remember, stretch is short. He, in my opinion, top contender. And Jaime Torres is a jockey, and he won this race with a horse that is special to me. Seize the Gray. Done it. Done it, done it. Dun, dun, dun. Post position 13 is the imposing Great White. And let me just say, I've seen him in person. The name fits. He absolutely towers over the other horses. Now, physically, he looks the part. He was even scheduled to run in the Derby, but unfortunately, he reared up and he fell, and thankfully, he's okay, but he was scratched. In 4 career starts, when he's got the 2 wins, he was coming from a stalking position. He stalked the leader in pounce. The problem for me right here is the draw. From post position 13, getting that ideal stalking position isn't going to be easy for him. He's going to need to use a lot of energy early just to secure that placement. I don't think that he's going to get the trip he wants. 3 of the 4 starts came on the synthetic at Turfway. When he did try the dirt in the grade 1 bluegrass at Cleveland, he went right to the lead. He set some hot fractions, faded badly. He finished 5th, beaten by 22 lengths, 72 buyer. Yes, the pace was strong that day, but this one projects to be strong as well. And from the 13 hole, with his preferred running style requiring that positioning, I'm concerned about his strategy. He may be forced in a decision early that really doesn't play to his strengths. For me, he's just a pass. Finally, we have Pretty Boy Miah coming from that outermost post, and that is going to be a challenge. 4 starts, all at Aqueduct, 2 wins and 1 place. Now, this horse really woke up in those last 2 races when the blinkers went on. He started to win by big margins. In a 6.5, $80,000 main race, he won by 6.5 lengths, 89 buyer. Now, he improved on that next time out, going a mile in an allowance race, wins by 3 to 4 lengths. 92 Buyer, which is one of the best in the field. But this is a tall ask. This is a stakes debut. And it's also his first time going beyond that mile distance. Can he get the distance? His sire is Bo Liam by Liam's Map. Doesn't have any top progeny trying to run at this distance. The dam sire, though, is Mineshaft, who won decisively at the longer distances. The thing I worry about the most, though, is his outermost post. This horse likes to be right up there with the leaders, and in his last 2 races, he was just a head behind the leader at the half pole. That is a lot of energy being expended to get into the position for a horse that's going a longer distance than he's ever gone before. Talented for sure, but I think he's in a tough spot here. Pass for me. So here's the most important part of the video. I want to hear from you. Who do you think wins Preakness 151? Drop it in the comments below. Y'all know how much I want to make this a community of sharing, so make sure you add to the comments. Also, go ahead and hit that like button for me, please, and also subscribe and get on my newsletter. Lots of valuable information and updates in there. I hope you all have a wonderful Preakness and sashay away with your money. Until next time, cheers.